Hello, happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. This is Cinco de Mayo Day. We are going to have another reading lesson. In this reading lesson, we're going to review words that have a U in the middle, and a quiet or silent E at the end, and the word good. Remember, if U's in the middle and it has a E at the end, the U will either sit its name and go U or it will go oo. Let's go on to the next page. Hello, on this page we're reviewing the word good. Good is spelled G-O-O-D. Now if you look on the left-hand side of the page, you see a picture, a big word card, and a small word above the picture. Let's start with the big word card. In that is the word good and the letters that spell good. So we're going to point to each letter in the big word card, and then we're going to say the name of the word. We're going to do this 2 times. Let's begin. You ready? G-O-O-D, good. Then let's try it again, okay? G-O-O-D, good. Now look underneath that picture. You see a boy and his dad, and they both look happy. Something good happened. In fact, they're high-fiving each other. That means, yay, you did something good. Now, let's look about that picture and you see the small word good. Let's point to each letter and then say the word. Let's do it just 1 time this time. G-O-O-D, good. Now, we're going to look to the sentences to the right of that. We're going to look at the top sentence. That's sentence number 1. You should know every word in that sentence except one. So let's point to the first word. That's the T word. And that is a word that you may not know. We've used it before in sentences, but we'll sound it out anyway. The TH goes, you get to stick out your tongue. So let's try again. Now let's try. At, that. That's the word that. Then I'm going to underline every other word as we come to it. So let's start again with that. You ready? That was, I'm sorry. Let's begin with that again. That was, I keep meaning to do black. Let's try one more time. That was good of you. And let's read it one more time. That was good of you. Now the word of, we haven't used a lot, but that is one of the words that we practice. So if you forgot that word, take out your high frequency words from your binder, Success Binder, to practice. Now let's go to sentence number 2, please. Again, we're going to point to the word he. We're going to I'm going to underline each word we know as we come to it, and I'm going to circle every word that we don't. Again, the word good is in this sentence. If you notice, I have 3 sentences, and each time I have the word good in one of them, the word is in blue. Let's point to sentence number 2 now, and we'll begin with the word he. You ready? Let's begin. He, the next word looks like the word has, but it's not. It's very close. It has a D at the end instead of an S. Let's sound it out. Ha, add, had. So the word is had. Remember, when we sound out words, please sound it out with me. That's how you learn. Let's read again. Let's point to the word he and sentence 2, and let's begin. He had I keep missing the black. A good, this word we probably don't know. Some of you may have figured it out. But I know it has an I in the middle, but also has an E in the end. So I'm crossing out the E, giving magic power to the I. And let's sound it out. I'm time. Excuse me. Let's go to the beginning and reread it, starting with the word he. You ready? He had a good time. The next one we also don't know, but you may have seen it before in other sentences. Let's practice it. The A goes ah, the T goes t, so it's at, at. Now we begin at the beginning again and read, okay? He had a good time at the last word is a word that many of you written a lot in sentences or seen in books. It's a good word to use and learn to spell and recognize. Now let's sound it out. Pa. And you do not hear the A in this. You hear the R sound. So pa, k, park. Remember, some words have a letter in it that you might not hear when you sound it out. And this word, it's the letter A. You don't hear the A. So let's read the sentence one more time, okay? Let's begin. He had a good time at the park. Good job. Now that sentence made sense. It began with a capital letter, ended with a period, and I left spaces between each word. Now let's go to sentence number 3. Now that is a fairly short sentence. I believe there's only one word you may not know, and my picture covers it up for me, but you might be able to see if I'm going to write it above there in case you can't. It's HOME. Okay? So let's start at the beginning. Ready? They have, you know what? Good. And let's cross this out. Cross out the E and I give magic powers to the O. Let's sound it out. Home. Let's go read it because something didn't sound quite right to me when I read it before. Let's read it. They have good home. Not quite. I forgot to add a word. Sometimes that happens when we read our sentence and we say, hey, I left out a word. Let's say, they have a. I meant a. So I'm going to sneak in the word a. That's pointing to the word a. They have a good home. Does that make more sense? Yes, it does. Okay, that's why we reread sentences to make sure if they make sense. Let's go to the next page. In this page, we're going to review words that have a U in the middle of them and a quiet E at the end. Words that have U in the middle and a quiet E usually go U or they can go oo. I remember them because they rhyme. U and oo rhyme. Now let's look at the first group of letters in black to the left. You see a D, U, D, E. We're going to sound it out, but before we sound it out, I'm going to take my red and I'm going to cross out the E. Oops, I meant to get a red. Cross out the E, and the E brings magic powers to the U. And let's sound it out. When I sound it out, I'm going to try with U first. Because remember, I said if there's a U at the end and a quiet E at the end, excuse me, if I said if there's a U in the middle and a quiet E at the end, the U can have two sounds. It can say U or it can go oo. Let's try U first. You ready? Da, U, da. Jude? Almost, not quite. Let's try the oo sound now for the U. Ready? Da, oo, da. Dude. Hey, dude. That kind of dude. Now, if you look to the right of it, you see the word dude in blue letters. That's how you will see it in a book. Now look to sentence number 1 that has the word dude in it, and I'm circling the word dude in it. It's in blue, so you can recognize it. And okay, very good job. Now, let's look at the beginning of the sentence. We're going to point to each letter we know and going to circle the words we don't. Okay, now, ready for the first one? Let's begin. Look. Oops. Let me try again. Look. The next word we've used an awful lot, but not everyone knows it. So let's sound it out. Has two sounds in it. I want everyone to sound it out. At. At. Very good job. So it's look at, and the next word we may not know either, but we have used it a lot. We go at that. Remember when the TH are together goes, so the word is that. Let's go back to the beginning of the sentence and read it again. Ready? Look at that dude. And I have an excited mark at the end of it. That means I said an excited sound. I'll read it again. You read it with me. Look at that dude. Now, look at the black letters to the left, left of the slide that are J, U, and E. We're going to sound out that word. Now, again, I know it ends with an E, so I'm crossing out the E. I'm giving magic juice to the U, or magic power to the U. So the U will either go U or oo. When we first sound it out, let's try U. If U doesn't work, we'll go back and try oo. Okay? June, 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 June. That's the month. It's kind of more like an oo though. June, June. So I'd say more of an oo. June. And look at the word June in blue next to it. That's the name of a month. In fact, now it's May. The month after May is June. And June is when you don't have school and you're home. Let's look at sentence number 2. That sentence has the word June in it. I'm circling the word June. Do you notice it's also in blue to help you recognize it? Now, the first word, we point to the I word. The first word, which begins with an I, most of us don't know, but a lot of you do. So let's sound it out. That first letter is an I. In. In. Good job. So we're going to read it. In June. Uh-oh. This word we've used a lot. A lot of you know what it is, but not everyone does. So let's sound it out. It. It. Go to the beginning and reread, okay? Let's begin. In June, it is. Oh, and that last word we do not know. So we'll sound it out. It has an O in the middle. And O's can go ah or O. Now this one goes ah because there's not an E at the end. So let's sound it out. Ha, ot, hot. Let's go and read the entire sentence, starting with the word in. You point to the words on the screen as I read, and you read with me. In June, it is hot. It is hot in June because that's a month in summer, and summer's always hot. Now, let's look at the black letters again to the left of the screen, but in the bottom, you see M-U-L-E. We're going to sound out this word, but before we can, we say that we see there's an E. We're going to cross out the E, give magic juice to the U. So the U will either go U or oo. First, we'll try U. Ready? Mule. 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 Pretty much said it. You. Kind of you. Mule. Mule. A mule is like a donkey. And a donkey is kind of like a horse, but its ears are slightly different, and it's usually built bigger. Anyway, and next to that, you see the word mule in blue letters. That's how you see it in books. Now let's look at sentence 3. You can see the word mule there, and I've circled it, and again, I wrote it in blue letters. Now, there are a few words in that sentence you don't know, but I bet you can sound them out because they're short words for the most part. First, let's point to the first word we know. We all know that. And then let's read. He. Our next word we don't know, so I'm circling it. Guess what? That has an O in the middle. O goes ah or O, but has an E at the end. So I cross out the E, and the E gives magic powers to the O. So the O goes O. Now let's try to sound it out. Ode, road, road. If I go back to the beginning of the sentence, I'm going to read. He rode. Next word, we're not quite sure about, but it's going to be easy to sound out. Only it's two sounds. The O goes ah. The N goes You tried. On, on. So let's go to the beginning of the sentence and reread. He rode on. We know the next word. A. The next word we have to sound out, but we've used it before. Everyone try it if you don't know it. Big, big. So I'm going back to the beginning and let's reread it up to now. He rode on a big, and that last word is mule. Now let's read it one more time from the beginning. Point to the word he. He rode on a big mule. Very good job. Now let's go to our very last page where we are going, excuse me, we are going to, I believe, make a sentence. Yes, called Let's Make a Sentence. And if you see at the on the left-hand side at the bottom, I have a picture. And this picture is a man playing a flute. Now, remember in a book, if you look at the picture will help you read the sentences or sentence. In this case, we're going to write one sentence. And I want you to just watch me, or you can take out a paper and a pencil and do it with me. So I'll give you a second in case you want to do it with me. You can take out a paper, any kind of paper, take out your pencil and eraser, and I'll wait. You don't have to, but it might be kind of fun. I will wait. Okay, got your pencil? Okay. The first word is he. Now, when we write he, we know how to spell it. It's H-E, but we need to think. H is the beginning letter in my sentence. Do I start the beginning of my sentence with a capital or lowercase letter? Yep, I begin it with a capital. So on your paper, if you have one, let's write he. First, we do a capital H. I'm going to erase that because I wanted to use a black. He, H, E. He, H, E. Write a capital H, a lowercase e. And that's the word he. And I'll wait. Again, you don't have to do this, but it might be fun because you would learn something and it would help you. Then we're going to write the word can, and we all know how to write the word can, but what do I do before I write the word can? You're right, leave space. Now remember I said you can put a finger after with the word he to show that you need to leave space. You can put a pencil after the word he to leave space, or you can even put your eraser. I usually put my finger. So I'm going to leave space. Now I want to write the word can. Now can, I know how to do it is C, A, N. And I bet you can do a better job than me. Again, I'm working on the slide, and it's kind of hard. It's because I have to do this with my finger. I can't do it with a pencil like you can on your paper. So far, my sentence says, he can. I'll wait until you've written the word can if you want to write this. C-A-N. Even if you're not writing, I want you to watch so you know how to write. Now I wrote he because it's a picture of a man playing the flute. And a man is a he. A boy is a he also. Remember, a woman is a she, or a girl is a she. But a man is a he. Excuse me. My next word is play. What do I do before I write the word play, though? I leave space. Remember, you can use your finger, you can use a pencil, or an eraser, whatever works for you, or even a crayon. I use my finger. So I'm going to write the word play. Play is one of our words we practice. So P, B, L, A, Y. Play. So you write play if you're writing with me. P-L-A-Y. Remember in the word play, we hear the P, P, we hear the L, and the A. But the Y is quiet. Sometimes Y's are quiet if they're at the end of a word. Not always, but this time it is. So far I've written he can play. I'll wait a minute in case you're writing this with me so you can write the word play. P-L-A-Y. My next word is A, and it's going to be the word A. So it's going to be lowercase a. But before I write it, I need to put space. So use your finger, put it after the word play, your pencil, eraser, or even crayon, whatever works, and write the word A, but make sure you leave space the lowercase a. So far, my story says, he can play A. I'm going to wait for you to catch up if you're writing with me. I always like to go back and read to make sure I didn't miss a word. He can play A. So far, so good. That's what I meant to write. Now, my next word is nice. So I'm going to sound out what sounds going to nice. I heard an I in the middle. So I bet it ends with a E, quite E. But S. Okay, I have to think. I know an S makes that sound, but guess what? The C also makes that sound too. Remember, C makes two sounds. It goes K and S. This time it says C, even though it doesn't sound like it should be. So we're going to start with an N. Write a leave space after the word A. Write a lowercase n. Now I, a lowercase I, and a dot. Don't forget the dot. Now sounds like an S, but no, it's one of the sounds a C makes. So we're going to write a C this time. Write a C. N-I-C. Then write the last letter. It's an E. It's a quiet E. Because in this particular story, you don't have to do this part. I just want to show you. I crossed out the E. The E gave magic powers to the I, and it said its name. So that's what ice. And the C makes a S sound. Remember the C has two sounds? It goes K, S. This time it went K. So I'm going to go back and reread what I've written so far. He, and I pointed the words to make sure I didn't goof. He can play a nice, I'm going to write the word tune, and I ran out of room. So I'm going to have to write the word tune in the next line. Let's sound it out. Ta-oon. I know that's a T, so I do a lowercase t. Ooh, ooh. Would that be like the short vowel U or the long vowel U? Remember it goes U and oo. To ooh, ooh. It would be a U. Tune. N, you're right. And because it makes an ooh sound, we have a quiet E at the end. T-U-N-E. Write that on your paper if you're doing it with me. And do not do this part, but I crossed out the E, and the E gave power to the U, so it doesn't go like umbrella anymore. It either goes ooh or U, and this time it went ooh. Ta-oon. Tune. T-U-N-E. Now let's go back to the beginning of the sentence and reread it to make sure I didn't do any mistakes. He can play a nice tune. Yay! That makes sense. My next word I want to write is on. But I'm not sure how to write on. It only has two sounds in it, so let's sound it out. Ah, n. Excuse me. If I go what letter is that? Octopus. Yeah, it's an O. N. It's an N. So the word would be O-N, which spells on. But before I do that, what do I need to do? I need to leave space after the word tune. So let's take your pencil, leave space, and write it's an O. On N. It's a short word, isn't it? It's a word on. O-N. You do it if you're writing it on paper. If not, just wait and be patient. We're almost done. He can play a nice tune on. Let's read it again. He can play a nice tune on. My next word is the. Before I write the, I need to leave space, don't I? And we know how to write the. Let's spell it. Lowercase t, lowercase h, and lowercase e. T-H-E. Please write it if you are writing. I'll let you catch up. Let's go to the beginning and read, okay? And see what it says so far. He can play a nice tune. Oh, the next word. Let's sound out, okay? Oh, I meant to circle it. Oh, excuse me, silly me. We already know what it is on, isn't it? So let's go back. He can play a nice tune on the. My next word is flute. Now let's sound it out. F, ooh, t. I heard an ooh in there. So I think there's a quiet E at the end. Let's go back to the beginning and hear the beginning sounds. F. What letter goes F? You're right, it's an F. But first, before I write flute, I need to leave space after the word the. So let's write a capital F. That's a capital F. F. You write it on your piece of paper. Ready for the next sound? F, what letter is that? L. It's a lowercase l, so that means you go straight down like a number 1. F, L. Flu, ooh. That's U. A lowercase u, down, up, and down. So far, we've written FLU, which goes f, ooh. But we're not done with that word, are we? Ooh, t. That's a T. You write a lowercase t next to the U. Please write that. So far, you should have written FLUT. And because you heard the U went a ooh sound, you put an E at the end. And that spells flute. Oot. And you didn't hear the E, but the U went ooh. That's what has an E at the end. If it goes ooh or U in the middle, it probably has an E at the end. Now let's read it from the beginning. He can play a nice tune on the flute. Now, does that make sense? It does. Did I start with capital letter? Did you start with capital letter? Yes, we started with capital H. Did we leave spaces between each word? Did we end the sentence with a period, excited mark, question mark? That we did not do. Let me read it again. We have to decide if it's an asking sentence, telling sentence, or an excited sentence. Let's point to the word as we read together. He can play a nice tune on the flute. I'm going to put it as a telling sentence. So you're going to put a dot at the end of the E. And that is called a period. So it makes sense. I started with capital letter. I ended with a period. It's a telling sentence. It tells you something. It makes sense. And I left spaces between each word. Thank you very much for coming and listening to the reading lesson. We'll see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Bye.